The European Union has some serious bougie speak, and this bougie speak is a language that only a Europhile can understand. So on this channel, we're going to look at some of these terms, but as they relate also to a powerful statement or proposal. And that is what's going to be in today's video, which is bougie speak that was uttered by Luxembourg Prime Minister Luc Frieden at the European Union Parliament in Strasbourg. Now, concerning bougie speak, his term hits 10 on the bougie scale.
Yes, I knew it.
And the term that he comes out with is, the bougie term is concentric circles. But first, let me give you a little bit on Luxembourg. Luxembourg is a major hub for European Union institutions. It is known for having a strong banking and financial sector. And Luxembourg, this tiny little nation, is also known for producing many Europhiles and leading federalists through its history, European Union's history. If you listen to his entire speech, and I'll have the link below, it's very ambitious. But we're going to listen to this one little section, this very bougie section on concentric circles. And then I will explain to you what it means and how concentric circles is going to cause an explosion of growth in the European Union.
With increasingly fierce international competition, we need to be ready to rethink our decision-making processes. We should revisit the idea of a Europe of concentric circles, with a smaller core group of member states that would be more integrated, always allowing others to join this core group when they wish to do so. We have no time to lose on dealing with the challenges our citizens and our countries face today. We need bold ideas and bold actions to maintain Europe's role on the world stage.
So what are concentric circles? Concentric circles is talking about European Union tiers. And this idea of the Union breaking into smaller tiers is decades old. And it started with the enlargement when the Union went beyond 12 member nations and then went up to like 15 and 20 something and then 27. The EU's fourth enlargement in 1995 brought the number of member nations up to 15. Now, the Union was only meant to function with 12. So at 15, it started to get too big. And then the next enlargement in 2004 brought 10 more members. By this time, the Union could no longer function the way that it was intended to because it was just too big and the decision-making was only meant for 12 nations. So what that meant was that European Europhiles started to come up with bougie terms. That was when bougie entered the EU vernacular concerning enlargement. And so concentric circles, wait a minute, I got to do this correctly. Concentric circles was the first bougie term, or one of them. There was the avant-garde. Now, why would you call an inner core of nations? And the idea was that Europe would need to have an inner core. So an inner core, avant-garde, and concentric circles, talking about the different tiers of association, started to be floated. And so this is what Prime Minister Luc Frieden is referring to with concentric circles. He's referring to this idea that the European Union right now is too large to be governed effectively without an inner core. And this idea was also floated not too long ago by Guy Verhofstadt, who proposed, when he was within the EU Parliament, he proposed a structure of the Council with a law-making body of nations within the Council with the Commission President along that line. So this idea has been going on for decades to fix the problem of EU governance that was never meant for all these nations. And going about a treaty change is such a process that the idea was that nations, if they went ahead of the others, they could do this without a treaty. So the idea of concentric circles is different tiers of association. You would have the full members who go forward with everything, the members who are so-so, and they would adopt the major body of law, but not certain law that would be adopted by the core member, and then you would have the outer tier. And what also should be noted about this is that these concentric circles could also include associate members who are not fully a part of the union or not even on for membership, so thus allowing the EU to expand past the proposed 37 members to possibly in the 40s. And I want to note that Israel already meets the Copenhagen criteria and could technically fit in that outer tier of nations that would have this status with the European Union. So the reason that I'm highlighting this is because this would seriously explode the growth of the empire, not just in population, but in GDP, and would propel it even more forward. So that is the explanation now of the Bougie concentric circles. I don't know why Europe finds these kinds of terms that sound so bougie. I don't know why the bougie speak exists, why they can't just talk in everyday language. But if they did that, then it would be too easy to understand, and you wouldn't need me explaining it to you. And it helps them sound bougie in their circles, and it helps them sound bougie when they know what concentric circles means. So I want you to stay tuned, because this is also going to be a continuing playlist where I will be looking at the different bougie terms that only a Europhile understands, but you'll understand after you tune into the videos, and we'll take a look at them. And then maybe at the end, after I have a handful of these so that we've covered all the bougie EU terms, we'll vote on the number one bougie term of all of them. Well, definitely hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. And you're going to want to check out his speech, because it's very ambitious, federalist, and takes you inside of the ambitions, the real ambitions of Europhiles. Till next time, stay tuned for more and hit that subscribe button.